Welcome to Brunch with Besties podcast.
Hey guys.
I am Sherry Renee.
And I'm Chanel.
Our mission is to heal and help others as we heal and help ourselves through purpose-driven conversations.
There we go.
Today we have a special guest here with us.
We do.
We have Mr. Joe Whitaker. Say hi, Joe.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Welcome.
We are doing super fantastic.
Yeah, good.
Today we are going to talk about Black love.
Yes. Gotta love it.
We gotta love it. But before we get into that, we're going to start like we always do with a toast. So I'll start with my bestie, Chanel.
Okay.
Who are you toasting to today?
I'm going to give my toast to my son, JR, who just celebrated his 12th birthday yesterday, which was really exciting and emotional because I'm like, oh my God, you're almost a teenager. Like, where did the time go? So yeah, shout out to everybody who came to his birthday party, who showed him love on Instagram and Facebook and called and texted. His phone was just off the hook all day yesterday. And shout out to you and Scarlett for recreating that infant photo. Hilarious. You all have to see it. I was dying laughing, and my son and they all were such good sports. But super cute recreation photo. And thank y'all for everybody for loving him. He brings so much joy to everybody. So thank you, everybody.
He does. Joe, who are you toasting to today?
I'm going to toast to myself for getting through the day.
I know that's right, Joe. You got to give it up for yourself.
Listen, sometimes it's all about you.
Well, today it was, but yeah, today was a little rough, but got through the day, so I'm going to give a toast to myself.
Amen. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you?
My toast goes to the men that listen to the podcast.
There we go.
I forget that you guys are there and that you guys are listening because you guys are so quiet most of the time. And then every now and again, y'all get real active. Y'all inboxes, repost something, comment. I'd be like, oh no, the men are listening?
Yes.
What were we talking about? This is not conversation for the men. But I want to say thank you guys for listening. Thank you for commenting, messaging, reposting, whatever it is that you guys do. We don't know exactly what the draw is to us, but we're thankful for it. We're grateful for it. And we want to say thank you.
Yes.
So shouts out to the Black men that listen to Brunch with Besties.
We love y'all for real.
So now we are going to break bread. So we have to check in. So I'll start with you, Bestie. How's it going?
Like I've been saying for the past, I think since December started, I'm ready for break. I'm ready to not have so much responsibility. I got through my son's birthday, so I'm like, okay, that's one thing off my belt. Now I got to make sure I have all these Christmas presents for him as well and for my family. And then I'm going to focus only on my birthday in Cancun. And that's going to be it. And then after that, I'll start to level out a little bit. But that's where I am, just trying to prioritize things and make sure everything is in order before we hit Cancun.
Absolutely. And Joe, what about you? How are you doing?
I am doing good. I keep saying I'm getting old, but that's not the right term, I guess. But I'm doing good, just maintaining. My 7-year-old and my 5-year-old gave me their Christmas list yesterday, and they both want iPhones. And I'm like, I don't know what y'all gonna do with iPhones, but we'll see what happens with that.
Let's see, did you tell them that Santa is gonna be quarantining, so Christmas might be a little bit delayed? And
I don't think they're gonna understand that.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, what? Like,
Yeah.
Listen, gotta tell them Santa got an Android, so he know how to right. There you go.
They
hear that.
Like Santa ain't got no Android.
Santa would never.
Oh God, we ain't gonna start the war,
right?
No,
we're
that is funny.
All right. And what's going on with Sherry Renee?
So last week I told you guys that I interviewed, and today I'm going to tell you that I got the job.
That's what's up. Congrats.
Thank you. So that's how I'm doing. I'm on cloud 9. I'm still off of work, so I'm just out here being trifling all day.
Hey,
real trifling.
You deserve. You on cloud 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Right. I'm packed and ready to go to Cancun, though, I'll tell you that. My bag is legit packed and sitting by the door.
By the door.
Just waiting. So what's the countdown?
We 19 days out.
19 days out.
We go.
So I've been my water, my business, doing my squats, and apparently packing.
We go.
That's how I'm doing.
Ready, big ready.
And yes, so I'm just grateful and thankful that I had the job. I actually didn't think I did that well, but upon further review, apparently I did. So
they want you.
They said I want you, and they said I want you with money. And you know what?
Burr.
I can't say no to that. So one thing, my job is a lot of things, but one thing, it is not as cheap. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that.
Blessings on blessings. Congratulations.
That's right. Congrats.
Yes.
Thank you.
Send my bestie some congrats in our cash.
I've been getting those all day because the release went out today with the notifications. So I've been getting that all day. So thank you to everyone. So now it is time for tea time.
Woo!
Our favorite part of the segment.
I'm so excited.
First, I have to say that Chanel and I will actually be eating during this podcast because Joe sent us some amazing soul food that smells so good. So if you hear a little snack, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I do have manners, but it's just so good. I can't take my eyes off of it. So we'll be feasting during this podcast. So thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
So welcome. So welcome.
So today we're talking about Black love, or I should actually say your love for Black women. And first, we actually have to start by allowing you to introduce yourself to us, because this is actually the first time that we got to meet you in person. So we know you via social media. We know you through Bridget, who we adore and who we love. But this is our first time actually meeting you. So if you could tell us how old you are. You mentioned your children. How many do you have? How old are they? Who is Joe?
Who is Joe?
There we go. Mr.
Joe. What can I say? Joe is originally born and raised here from Milwaukee. 4 boys.
Wow.
4 boys. 28, 26, 7, and 5. So I started all over.
Whoa.
All over.
I started all over. Yeah. Currently in school. Trying to receive my bachelor's in environmental science. So
yay!
Want to be one of the first male family members to have a degree. So
wow.
So looking forward to that. So yeah. That is I work every day. Leisure. I'm either one or two places. I'm either at work or I'm at home, and then on Thursday nights I'm bowling.
Okay. We just bowled this weekend and we are not good. Ooh. The men beat us. Okay.
They did.
We just gonna leave it at that.
90% of the sport is having your own ball and shoes.
Okay.
I didn't have either.
Yeah, no.
The men still beat us. They didn't have their own balls and shoes either. So whatever.
Right. And we had the lightest balls, and we were still like.
I need the bumpers. That's where I am.
I need the little slide thing.
I need help.
Just a side note that the light balls don't work.
Oh, see,
that's what we've been messing up. The men had the heavy balls. See, we thought so. Okay, thanks,
now
Joe.
We know, Joe.
We learned. You just learned. You just taught us something. Listen, don't do a rematch.
We're going to have us join in the league, like Joe said.
Yeah. Don't use them light plastic balls. They're no good.
Right. Okay. I didn't want to break a nail. I'm going to be honest about it. I was like, look. This is not
right. Can't tear my nails up. Okay.
Y'all sound like Bridget.
Yeah. Speaking of Bridget, so that's how we know you. So Bridget was actually on our podcast a few episodes. She's been on here 3 times, or actually it was 2 times, but I think we split the episodes into several episodes because we were just having so much fun that we just kept recording.
Yeah, I heard.
That was an awesome one.
Yes, Bridget is one of our favorite people.
She is.
She's always welcome to the show. And so are you, because you are her favorite person, and that makes you one of our favorite people too. And you know what? You fed us.
Right.
So
you are officially in there.
You're practically a bestie.
There we go. You are a bestie, Joe. There we go.
Well, I appreciate that.
And Bridget is the namesake to our little award that we did also. So she was our very first recipient. So
y'all know y'all made her tear up when she got home, right?
You know what? So we had to do that because Bridget is everything that this podcast embodies. Like, she totally manifests that in her everyday life. Yeah. I legit go to Bridget's page just when I need to be inspired. Like, I can just read her posts. I can read her book. I can read some of her blogs that she used to do. Like, Bridget lays it all out there, no chaser. She's just like, this is authentically who I am. Y'all just gonna have to accept me for who I am. Y'all just gonna have to love me for who I am, but I'm constantly evolving. I'm constantly changing. I want to do better. I'll acknowledge when I'm wrong. Like, I love everything about Bridget.
Yeah.
Okay?
So when you think about purpose in human form, like, it's definitely Bridget.
Absolutely.
Like,
That was one of the things that I mentioned in our engagement party, because her favorite number was 3, and so I mentioned 3 things why I loved her. And so one of them was that she was inspiring, because I used the example of, during school, and you have those lapses where you say you don't want to do this anymore, and all you gotta do is just turn around and look at her, and she'll say, she'll give you that look like, okay, I know you don't want to do this, but you're better off if you do this. So, she can inspire you to do anything, and so that's one of the things I really love about her the most, is that she will definitely inspire you to be a better person. So.
Absolutely.
I love that.
And so in the last time Bridget was here, she was here to discuss her book, If I Should Die Before I Wake. And actually, I put the link in our show notes so you guys can purchase it if you would like. But we started off talking about how she met you because she literally just got engaged. So we were like, Bridget, I want to talk about the book, but who is Joe? How did you meet Joe? Like, we need to catch up what's going on.
Right.
And she told us that you guys actually met on a dating website.
Yes, we did.
And out of all places, she said plenty of fish.
Right. We were like what?
Mind blown. So tell us, what brought you to Plenty of Fish?
Yeah.
This is what happened. So
tell us from your perspective.
Because her perspective is a little different from mine. So
okay. What happened?
What had happened was I had a coworker, just tell me, you should go on there and just try this. And I'm like, I don't think that's for me, man, going online and meet people. Like he said, Joe, just give it a try. Just see what happens for a month. If you don't like it, you can always get off of there. So I did it. And I did encounter some strange individuals. They pretty much told you what they wanted right out front.
Oh, right.
Didn't hold their tongue about it.
Really? Women were that aggressive on there?
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely.
Wow.
They went even as far as sending you pictures.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
We are not the same.
No.
Whoa.
So it's just not the men doing that.
Okay. Let it be known, Joe.
Let us know, Joe. Let us know what
it's not the men doing it. But I was on there and I was just about to just cancel it. And I remember it like it was yesterday. It was a Saturday. She reached out to me real late. I want to say it was like 10, 11 o'clock. She said, "Hi, Joe." And I started reading her profile before I responded because I'm just that particular like that. So, of course, Bridget had a novel on there. It was really long, and I'm just reading. I'm like, does this end at some point? And I'm just reading, and I'm reading. I'm like, holy Christ. And then I was like, okay. So I clicked back and spoke to her and said hi. And it just kind of went from there.
Yeah. That is so amazing.
And that's so Bridget to like reach out to you first. She's very like confident and like cool and like, I see it, I'm going for it. And that's okay because that's me. Like I'm very comfortable with who I am.
And if it works out, great. And if not, great.
Great.
That's totally Bridget.
That's what's up.
And it's funny because I listened to her episode on the way here because I was like, what did Bridget say about Joe? And she literally said, she was like, he said, I initiated it. And I told him, I just said, hey, and that's it. And he took it from there.
Yeah, no, that's not how it went. She's got her version and I got mine, but it kind of went like that. But it went somewhat that way. But our first date was at Jose Sombrero in Bayside, and it was during a snowstorm that day.
Wow.
And I told her, I said, we can always reschedule because I don't want you out here driving in this snowstorm like that. No, she said, no, we can go. I said, are you sure? She was like, yeah, we can go. I said, okay, all right. So we went, and I got there a little early because I needed a drink to kind of like wind me down so I don't be so amped up, So I was there for like maybe a good 15, 20 minutes before she got there. And so when she got there, she said, hey, Joe. And I looked. And I was like, okay, cool. This is the person on the picture.
Okay.
So I didn't get catfish.
So what were your initial like first impressions of Bridget?
My first impression was she was short. she gonna probably attack me for this later. But
wait, how tall are you?
I'm only 5'9".
Okay.
But I always tell her all the time she walking on her ankles. So no, but my first impression of her was she was real beautiful. She's right off the bat said, "Oh yeah,
she's gorgeous.
What's up?" But again, you can't go based off that because you got, the looks are one thing, but you got to wait for that conversation to happen. So once that conversation started to happen, I was like, okay, this is it. This is it.
So I want to go back to Plenty of Fish for just a hot second. So you read her profile. What drew you to her? What made you say, you know what? I know I'm about to cancel my subscription, but I'm just going to go ahead and ask her out on a date. Like, what drew you to Bridget after reading her profile?
I read her profile, and well, I tell you, I even go backtrack. On my profile, it was clear as day. I said I didn't want to meet anybody who can challenge me physically. I wanted somebody who can challenge me mentally. And so after reading her profile, I was like, okay, if this is who she says she is, then this is a lot. So I found myself being attracted to what she put in her profile, and her profile was spot on. Spot on. What you read is who she is. So.
Okay. Was there anything in particular that made you think like, okay, I got to send her a message, or I got to respond back to her message?
I think the one thing that caught me was the fact that she was so family oriented. I'm big on my family. She's big on her family, and I love family. And people will tell you about me, even though nobody knew who I was.
Yes, we're gonna get to that.
Right. Nobody knew who I was, but I'm very family oriented. Right now I'm actually at my sister's house, though.
Oh, okay. So, listen, that's your alibi. Like, I'm just visiting my sister.
While I'm recording podcast.
Doing a whole podcast at my sister's house.
She'll do, and it's been proven that she'll do anything and everything for her family, especially her kids. So, so that draw me to her like big time. So, yeah.
That's awesome. That is really cool. So then, fast track back to the date. You see her, you think she's cute. She got a cute face. The conversation is popping. So then what's going on in your head at that point once you realize that her conversation matched her looks?
It was well, during the date, we were having deep conversations about me and her, and we got to talking about our because we had both been divorced, so we talked about that. But it really didn't feel like a date. It really felt like somebody you had known for years, and you may have lost the connection with them, but you reconnected with them. That's what it felt like. It felt like somebody you have known for your whole life. So after that first date, and I walked into the car and I got in my car. I was pretty giddy at that point. I'm like, okay, we got something going here. And she called. I believe she called me as soon as she got home. And I was like, yeah, that's what's up. She
okay.
Like your girl would say, she ready. So
Queen B was ready.
She ready. So and then I was ready at that point. So I was like, I have to continue this because this feels like something that can go for a long time. And so here we are, married and all now. So
married in the whole nine.
Wow.
Yeah. So when she recounted the date, she said that she was crying.
And y'all know B.
I know. I was
know B.
But that can be a lot on a first date.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of how she felt, right? Is like, like you said, like we're friends, we're catching up. So I'm just going to be my authentic self. And if that's crying in this moment, then I'm just going to do that.
But you know what though? During the date though, I didn't do too much talking. I didn't do too much talking. She did the majority of the talking, which was a good thing because to me, she was that comfortable.
Right.
And so her being that comfortable, that's when she got emotional, and I just let her be emotional, and I guess she needed that at the time. So I was just happy I was there and happy that I was able to be that ear for her. So, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, this is great. So during that first date, you both talked about divorce. And we had a guest on here, and we actually had several guests on here talking about divorce and finding your way after that. So what was that like for you, having been divorced? Where was your mindset as far as like relationships and dating and moving forward?
I didn't date anybody after my divorce until Bridget.
Wow. Okay.
I didn't date anybody. I took some time off because I did a lot of soul searching for myself in that process. And I'm like, okay, could I have been better in that marriage? Could I have done things different in that marriage? And so I said I didn't want to get into another relationship until I was absolutely ready to be in it. And so once I was ready, like I said, I didn't expect to be on Plenty of Fish, but it just worked out that way. So, I like I said, I took some major time out for myself and just made sure that I was ready because I didn't want to carry anything from that past relationship to the new one. So,
Right.
Yes, come
That's
through.
awesome.
That is awesome.
That is absolutely awesome. And I know Sean Heineman from It's Scary to Remarry, he's always talking about men, doing the work as well. Women out here doing the work, men out here doing the work. So that's good. That's good to hear.
yeah, I think we actually have to do more work though.
Expound on that a little bit for us,
I'll,
Joe.
I'll tell you why I say that.
There we go.
Joe.
I'll tell you why I say that. We don't always show our feelings on how we feel when it comes to things like that. And so in doing the work, you have to make sure that you're actually doing the work. Women gonna do the work. Men will more likely play around with doing the work. And so we'll date like multiple people and say, this is what I'm on right now. And don't get me wrong, some women do it too, but majority of the time, men will just date, do whatever they want, say they ready for something, and they really not ready. And so I had to make sure I was ready because I could have easily been one of those guys that just said, you know what, you could be with this person that night, you can be with that person that night. Well, what does that really do for you in the long run? And so we definitely have to put in more effort. I should say put in more effort.
So, and so with women, our circle will help facilitate that work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, it depends.
Yeah,
right.
Some
Depends on who your
circles.
circle
There you
is,
go.
right?
Right.
Some will be like, we're gonna go slash tires and bust windows,
Hey.
right?
And some gonna be like, we gonna be out here.
Like, right. And some are gonna be like, we gonna be out here. That's true. But
Mhm.
some are gonna be like, okay, what was your part? What could you hit? They'll hold you accountable. They'll maybe give you a different perspective, right? They'll just kind of create an environment that's conducive to your evolution. Do you have a circle? Did you have a circle that helped to facilitate this work?
Didn't have a circle one bit.
So
I internalized it all.
Wow.
Wow. And I think that's one of the things that we as men, we as Black men really don't have is a circle like that. Because it's kind of hard to put yourself out there to men. I don't know why, but it just is. I would have never put myself out there to other guys saying, this is what's going on with me. I just need to get this off. This is how I'm feeling. We just don't do that. We just don't do that. So most Black men don't do that. I internalized the whole situation. I just did.
Yeah.
That's interesting, especially since, Bridget has such a close circle of friends that she, confides in and talks to and shares things with. So what is that like now? Do you feel like now you've opened up to your like friends or guy friends that you have?
Nope.
Still no.
He's like, I ain't gonna do it. I'm protesting here.
Nope. I think for me, I'm just better off just internalizing things like that when it comes to relationships. Only because sometimes when you put things out there, it don't come back the way you put it out there.
Right.
It comes back differently. And so, you could say one thing and then not saying that it was done on purpose, but it got back to you a different way, and you get all kind of stories in there. And so I just internalize everything when it comes to that. I may tell one particular person, and that may be my pastor,
Nice.
and that's about it.
That's
Yeah.
great counsel from the
Yeah.
pastor. Okay.
Yep.
Right. So then with that being said, because she also mentioned, Joe was more introverted, because we were like, we never seen Joe. Like, is he from Milwaukee? I'm talking about Milwaukee, Wisconsin, not Milwaukee. Is it North Carolina?
Yeah.
There's Milwaukee. But, so then even doing this podcast is actually really a big kind of thing for you then, I would assume,
Yeah,
right?
you would have
Totally
never caught me on here.
Yeah. So this is
Yeah.
all for B.
Yeah, this is all for B.
B.
Yeah.
That's love, B. When people go outside of their comfort zone to do stuff that, for you,
that is love.
that is love.
Yes, because when you reached out to us, we immediately was like, yeah.
We're like, absolutely. We'll see you Monday.
Yeah, I've come out my comfort zone a
That
lot.
episode that we had going,
Yeah.
we're going to do this one. We'll do the other one next week.
Listen,
Yeah.
Joe was in here.
I've come out my comfort zone a lot in being with Bridget. It's a lot of stuff that I've never would have done that I've done since being with her. And so, and coming out my comfort zone, it's not so bad.
It's not
So bad. Yeah.
And then we get to hear stories like this.
Yes.
So see, it benefits everybody.
It sure does. Because listen, all day I was like, Joe is about to manifest, and for us, it's gonna be great.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do all that, but I will try.
Listen, you got it already. So what I'm excited. So you all had your first date. You all hit it off from there. I want to know the proposal story, like from your perspective.
But before we get there, though, because Bridget was talking about how you were really intentional. You know how she was kind of comfortable like dating, and you were like, I ain't playing no games. Like I want more. And she also talked about how you kind of raised her standard and toward in terms of like dealing with conflict. Like she hung up on you one day, and you were like, we don't do that. We communicate our feelings and we talk. How about that?
Right. That was a good one.
And I was like, wait a minute, Joe over here checking.
Listen.
Okay.
I wouldn't say checking. I would say just slightly getting her to understand that if you talk to me, you'll be fine.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Fine.
Setting a new standard. Yeah. Right. That's awesome. And I love the intent behind everything that you were doing.
Yeah, I agree. And I think setting the standards like early on definitely sets a more solid foundation for you all during your marriage, because now when you do face conflict, you know how to resolve that without I'm about to hang up on you. Like we don't do that over here.
Right.
And that makes me think about the Red Table Talks with Will and Jaden, how, they had to figure that out as well. Like he was telling her, like, I don't like it. You're not going to swear at me. You're not going to curse me out, call me out my name. Like we don't do that. We're going to communicate. So I think that is very important to set the standards for what your marriage will look like, what you all accept and what you won't accept.
Setting the standard, right away. I just felt like I didn't do that in my first marriage. I didn't do that. I let some things go that I probably shouldn't have let go. And I didn't want to do that again. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to do that again. It was not a good feeling knowing that you got to a place in your marriage where you felt like what you were concerned about didn't matter.
Oh yeah.
And so I made sure that she understood how I felt about certain things, and she did the same thing in return. So I think it just worked out better that way, instead of just saying you can let this slide or let that slide. Sometimes you can't let stuff slide to make peace. Yeah. Sometimes you got to say what it is that you really need to say, because that peace can sometimes go out the window. So you got to say what you really want, so. And so we did that, and it's working out great so far.
Nice. So far, so good.
I love it.
There was a young lady that said, if you let it slide, you're going to slip.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's true. So you were very intentional. Bridget was just like, whatever. And you was like, I want you.
Yeah.
Like, whatevs. And you was like, no, I'm serious.
Yeah.
And so then she even kind of walked us through her version of the engagement. So I want to get back to Chanel's question because she's asking you about it. But when Bridget was talking about it, she talked about every single detail, like how you literally took the time, like over a period of time, having these conversations where she's just thinking that you're just asking her normal questions, but you're really in the background, like conspiring to propose to her.
Let me tell y'all, I almost got shot once by her. I'll just put it to you that way.
There was a mention of a gun on the podcast. I thought it was a joke.
Legitimately, that proposal, that party, the whole setup took a lot of work, and that was something that I had never done before. And so, trying to plan something like that, and y'all know B gonna find out what she want to find out when she want to find it out. And so, in planning it, some of her girlfriends were sending me messages because I was sending them messages trying to make sure everything was legit. And so it was one, she probably don't even know this, but I'm going to tell y'all anyway. It was the one, well, she knows. Yeah, the one time I got a message, I believe it was from one of her girlfriends. And we were going through some of the stuff that I needed at the party. And so my phone don't ring at night like that. So this particular time it rung. And
I'm already scared. I'm like, no. Listen,
so she was
you
like,
don't break patterns, Joe. Right? Who did? That's the first red flag.
Yep.
Who did?
She was like, who is that? So I gave her the typical male response. Oh, that's nobody.
Oh, Lord.
So I'm getting more and more worried. I mean, I know you're safe because you're here, but I'm scared.
So I was like, it's nobody. And so it dinged again.
Oh, Lord.
So I'm reading it. And she was like, okay, really, who is that? And I was like, oh, it's just something I got going on. It's nothing major. So I literally got up.
No, you didn't.
Granted, I left my phone in the room.
Okay.
So I'm thinking she's gonna check it. She's gonna check it, which because she knows that my phone don't go off. So I left it there. She didn't check it, and I was like, but what she did was she called one of her girlfriends, and she said, or she either called him or texted her, and she says, I think something going on with Joe. He ain't telling me everything. So I knew that she was gonna do that because I know B. So I texted the girlfriend that I knew she was gonna call and said, "You gotta sidetrack her because she thinking something going on.
Yo,
she don't know."
You better stay one step ahead of
me.
You better stay one step ahead of her.
Yeah. So I'm like, you gotta tell her. You gotta tell her what something to deflect her and tell her ain't nothing going on because that's who was texting me back and forth trying to finalize some plans, and stuff. I was like, you gotta text her because she ain't here tripping.
She's about to go off.
Yeah. Trying to propose to her and be with her forever, and she gonna break up in 5 minutes.
Yeah. So she finally got her to calm down, and I said, well, now I got to be crafty about this. I said, if I do it, I got to do it and do it during the day, so she don't think something is really popping off, So, but the engagement originally started. I wanted to do it the weekend of my birthday, which is in May.
Okay.
But some things had happened, so we had to alter it. And so, it happened in August. And I was super nervous because I wanted to make sure everything was on point because I know she deserved it.
Wow.
And so the day before, I had talked to my pastor, and he was like, "You ready, Joe?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I think so." He's like, "You sure?" And I was like, "No, I'm good. I wanted to do it in May." And so, 3-4 months went by, and, all that energy that you build up to do it in May, you got to rebuild that energy up back again in August. So, but engagement went on smoothly. I wouldn't change anything about it at all. It was the first time I ever done something like that. And so, again, that's one of the things you coming out of your comfort zone to do something.
You absolutely came out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Because it looked like you pulled out all the stops, and she said that all the important people were there, like even
Mm-hmm.
John Ray, who she had kind of lost a little bit of contact with, but you
Right.
on yourself
Right.
to reach out to her and ensure that she was there. She said people came from out of town. You kind of created a facade to make her think it was about her book. And she was like, y'all came all the way for this? Like, this ain't that, but like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And then she even talked about a storyline that you had to get her to her friend's house where she thought her friend was kind of, having a
Yeah.
little catastrophe.
Yeah.
You guys are supposed to be on your way to a date. And she was, but in true Bridget fashion, she was like, nope, my friend is in need. We must stop immediately and go to
Yeah.
her house.
But
'Cause
that
you
was
knew.
the whole part of the master plan because I knew she would respond to that. So while she in the car praying, I'm doing everything I possibly can to hold that laugh in because y'all should have heard B. B was like, "Oh Jesus, please God, let there be peace, let there be peace, let there be peace," and I'm just sitting over driving. I'm
Aw.
like, "Oh my God, she really fell for this," and I just
Oh my
wanted to
God.
laugh so bad, but I couldn't. I was holding it in. So right before we got there, I was like, look, I'm gonna go in here just to make sure everything is okay. You stay here, because if something happen, if they get to fighting or something like that, I don't want you to get hit or anything like that. So then she was like, well, you basically got 2 minutes, and I'm coming in there.
Mm.
So
With my
I
gun.
go in
Yes.
there. Yeah, I go in there. I come right back out, and then that's when her girl came out pretending like she was crying. She did a great job at that too. That wasn't even part of the plan. So she just winged that part of it.
Hey, gotta be over
Yes.
the top. We gotta keep
So
this
we
story
we
going.
go in the house, and then we go through the yard, and that's when everybody is there, and she looking like, wow. But she was like, I was ready to fight.
Yeah. I'm surprised
So
that when you came back to the car, she didn't have like a bandana around her hair. She started putting
Right.
Vaseline on her face, put her
Listen,
kicks
I,
on.
shoes change, right?
Uh-huh.
I think that was all part of the prayer though.
Okay. Right. You're right.
Right.
She was praying. That's true.
Yeah, she was praying. She was praying hard, y'all. She was praying hard. She
She
prayed
meant
for
for her.
she
Right.
prayed for she prayed for a good 5-10 minutes.
Wow.
Yep. Yep.
It.
That is crazy.
That is so funny. So thinking about the proposal and you're surprising her, let's go back just a tad bit. How did you know that she was the one?
Man, you know what? I had asked God to put somebody in my life because I needed somebody in that aspect of knowing that not everybody is not out here to hurt you.
Mm.
And so when you ask for that, you got to be ready to receive it. And so when it came to me in the way that it did, in the oddest way, because
Plenty of fish.
plenty of fish, I didn't expect that at all. But you got to be ready to receive it if you ask for it like that. And so when God presented it to me in that way, I just took it and ran with it. I really did. And and in the process of dating and up to the engagement, it was one of the best times of my life. It really was because it was it was it was it was like being a newborn and starting your life all over again.
Oh my
So
gosh.
you got to actually be with somebody who you can actually be yourself with. You didn't have to front or fake or not worried about sharing what happened to you.
Mm-hmm.
It was real refreshing. It was actually one of the best times of my life. It really was.
Oh, that's so sweet.
That is.
So
Yeah.
she said the same thing. She was like, it just felt like it was okay to be me. I didn't have
Mhm.
to act like, I don't be cussing people out. I
Y'all
don't
know
do that.
better than that.
Right.
Y'all know better than
But
that.
But no, that's amazing. When you just get to be your authentic self, because like I said,
Hmm.
that's what I love about her, right? Is that
Hmm.
she's like, hey, yesterday I broke up with my boyfriend. Today I got the job. The next day I wrote the book. The next, but she's like, but all of that is me. right? When I
Right.
failed, when I triumphed, all of that is me, and I'm accepting every piece of it, and I want
Mm-hmm.
you to accept every single piece of it.
Yep. You don't.
Absolutely.
That's okay, because I'ma still be me.
But I still, exactly.
Yeah, I love
exactly.
that. Yep.
That's why.
That's definitely Bridget.
Yeah.
I love
So
that.
let's talk about why we don't know you.
I'll explain.
Who said Joe? Where?
Because
where?
when y'all got together, it was like, how come, like, so Milwaukee is not that big.
Yeah.
Right.
There's
Right.
that, when it comes to us Black folks in Milwaukee, right now it's smaller, and then looking at our age range, it gets smaller as well. So help us understand.
But there's
Why
always
nobody?
a degree of separation.
Yes.
Well, I moved away for a while.
Okay.
So I had lived in Madison for 14 years.
Oh wow. Okay.
And I was there for 14 years, and then I had moved to Ohio for a little bit, and then I eventually came back here in 2010.
Okay.
And so most of my adult life, I wasn't here.
Mm.
Okay.
So
where did you go to high school?
do I have to really tell you that?
No.
Bayview.
Okay.
He was a wildcat.
He was a wildcat.
Listen, people went to Bayview die hard for their school. They loved it.
Yeah, I think it was a red cat when I went.
Oh yeah, it is a red cat. You're right. Look, I didn't go there, so I don't know.
Right, we didn't go there. We don't know.
Yeah.
Where did y'all go?
I went to Rufus King.
And I went to Milwaukee High School of Arts.
See, you went to King like my sister did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So then, Joe, how old are you?
Take a guess. It won't offend me.
Oh no, because see, here's the thing. Because see, Black people, we don't age. And I know when Sean was on here, he was in his 40s, and we thought he was like 35.
I swear we did.
46.
Okay.
No way.
46?
You're 46?
40,
Wow.
46.
How old is Bridget?
Take a guess.
So John Ray just turned like 42.
I'm like, how old am I? Let's start
my
there.
sister, my sister will be 41, and I think Bridget is a year older than my sister.
Okay, so 42?
Bridget is the same age as your sister.
Oh, she's 41.
Okay.
41.
But she'll be 42 this upcoming year, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah. My sister
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Got
She'll
it.
be 42 in March.
Okay. And so, so then you were just you went away.
Mm-hmm.
So then during all those years where Black people was out here congregating and kicking it, you was like, I'm out.
I'm out.
I'm out.
Yeah.
And then you came back, and then, like you said, you had to do your own personal work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Next thing you know, God presented you with Bridget via Plenty of Fish.
Yeah.
You went fishing.
My brother said it's a hookup site, so I guess it is fishing. I guess, so to speak.
You went fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was always the place. So I did the same thing as you, where I was like, I'm going to get on a dating site for 30 days and just see what happens and blah, blah, blah. And everybody was like, do not get on Plenty of Fish.
Really?
Yeah, they were like, all the married men are there, or it's a hookup site and catfish and all of that.
Yeah, I had a horrible experience on there too. And I was like, I'm out. Like, I'm so done.
Wow.
That just goes to show that it's a tool, right? So it's how you use it.
Absolutely.
So,
it is. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you have 4 boys. So I'm always interested to know, like, what blending families is like. What was it like for you and Bridget?
Well, it's one of those things where you have to be all in, or it ain't gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
So like my 2 oldest boys, they're adults, so and her kids are adults.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not that hard to mesh families when they're like that at that age. It's just a matter of just getting them together and boom, boom, boom.
Mm-hmm.
But when you got 2 younger ones, like that, it can present challenges. It can, because they're used to what they're used to.
Sure.
So it can be challenging at that time. But we work through it. We work through it as a unit.
Nice.
We don't work through it as individuals. We work through it as a unit. And so, whatever happens, we cross it, we work it, we fix it, we go on to the next thing. So, yeah.
together. I love it.
I like that. You like, it's a problem, we resolve it next.
Right. Together. And
That's
it's not
what
my
they
problem because these are my children. Like, this is us
Right.
together
Our
as a
problem.
family. Yeah.
We solve
Right.
it collectively. We do better next time.
I know.
Absolutely.
Push it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I love that.
So I was wondering, have you ever dated a non-Black woman?
I wasn't ready for that question.
I wasn't ready either, but it came across my dome.
Somehow I knew you was gonna ask me that for some reason.
You know what? I think it's because you were like, my love for Black women. And I have to preface it with this, right now it's everybody saying protect Black women, love Black women, support Black women, right? We even had an episode before, I forget what it was called, but something along the lines of like, do Black men support us? Do they love us? I don't know, right? And the answer is yes and no, right? Some of them do, some of them don't. So I think that, number one, I really appreciate the fact that you just wanted to come on to share your love for a Black woman. I think we need to hear more of this. Yeah. Right? We need to see more of this. And Chanel and I are big fans of Black love, and we are big fans of Black men.
Absolutely. Love y'all for real.
So, being that you're a big fan of Bridget, because there was also a time where we were going to do a live show, and we were going to talk to Bridget about her book live, and you commented and you were like, I'm gonna be front and center. Bridget makes my lip quiver, honey. And I was like, yes, come on, Joe. We got no keep waiting. Okay, this is the Joe section. Nobody but so we love that, and we love to see it. So I was wondering, have you ever dated outside of your race?
I never have.
Chanel,
never have.
horn. I'm just playing. Burp, burp. I'm just playing.
Burp, burp, don't make me laugh.
Never
we got a real one in the building.
Never have. So always a big fan of Black women.
Always been a big fan of Black women. I mean, and the opportunity has presented itself, before, but I just never got that urge to do it.
So what are some things that you love about Black women, specifically your Black woman, because we don't want you to get cut when you get home?
Okay.
He already don't get cut for buying us food. Bridget gonna be like, you tell them brunching bitches, don't be having my man bring them food.
Here's the thing. I tried to take care of that beforehand. So, because I said, do you need me to get anything?
Smart.
Yeah. So she said, no, I'm fine. I said, okay. All right, cool. I won't get shot tonight.
There we go. Hey, listen,
might get cut, not shot.
Not shot.
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah. No, I think for the thing I love about Black women, I grew up around 4 fabulous Black women, my mom and my 3 sisters. And so, I learned a lot about Black women that way because, going to high school in Bayview, it was predominantly Caucasian,
Yeah, I used to live in Bayview.
Yeah, so the one thing that I did learn, I think more than anything about Black women is that they're not celebrated enough. I think we're so quick to put other people on pedestals and give them flowers for virtually nothing. And so, we need to give that same energy to our Black women. You don't see it enough. You want to see it enough, but you just don't see it enough. And so, being that I'm probably with the most Blackest woman you could ever find in the world.
Yes. Bleeding Black.
Yeah. So
she probably got her fist in the air right now, just for no reason, honey. For no reason, just hold it up.
Yeah. So I just Black women have been through a lot of things, and a lot of their stories haven't been told nationally, but it's there. And so if we as Black men don't take care of our Black women, we as Black men won't last.
That part.
So I just think we need to just take better care of our Black women in every aspect of life.
Wow. That's the clip that I'm going to put on our page. If we don't take care of our Black women, Black men won't last. Wow.
I love it.
That's a whole word.
It is a word. Yes. Had that clip going everywhere, going viral. Because it's true. That is
That
true.
is true.
You know? So
That's very true.
Yeah.
And how impactful is it for you to say that and you have 4 sons?
yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you have that value, and that's within you, because hopefully that's also pouring into your boys too, to have that same love and respect for Black women. So now from just me, I've spawned 4 other Black men who will feel this way about Black women.
Yeah, they're gonna educate me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Bridget has 2 sons,
Yep.
right? The witnesses as well.
Yes.
So and a daughter, a beautiful daughter,
Yes.
who gets to know what it's like to be loved on by a Black man.
Yeah.
Because if you've read Bridget's books, then you know that her daughter went through a lot of things as well.
For
so
sure.
it's probably part of her healing too. Just to be able to witness something like this.
That book was deep.
Ooh,
That book,
Joe.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a page turner. It was deep, and I was like, I can't read no more. No, but it was like you couldn't put it down.
I couldn't put it down.
Yeah.
I was at the nail salon, and they were like, "Ma'am, your feet are done," and I was like, "No."
Yes.
No, they are not. I'm not done with the book.
I had been procrastinating to read the book. And so a situation presented itself at work to where I had to take a road trip. It was like a 5-hour ride. And so I read the book there and back. And so when I finally got back home, and told her that I had read the book, and the only thing I could do was say to her that I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm sorry that happened. I'm sorry about, just being faced with those situations that you waited. But you came out all right. You came out a great person. And so, again, I admire, people when they've been able to bounce back through life situations like that. And in that book, there was some life situations, and
every page. I was like, "Gee."
Page. I was like,
and
girl,
this is not fiction,
Listen, and then and I told Bridget this also when I went to her book release, that it just opened up so much within me, and I'm sure other people who read it, so much within ourselves to be like, oh, I got some stuff that that then crept back up from reading this book. Now I need to process and try to heal. So it was definitely like a healing journey. Like read my story, but now you're gonna have to uncover some things about yourself.
And you know what? I think that, earlier you said Bridget is the Blackest woman you know. I think that Bridget is all Black women.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I love about her. Like, in the book, I was like, this is legit every Black woman.
Yes.
Like, maybe not every single scenario,
right.
but totally Black woman.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was it was very vivid. Like, that could have been me or my sister or my mom.
Or like, that's me. That one's my cousin. That's Chanel.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, that's literally how it was reading the book. Like, like you totally could relate on, too many levels, So again, why I love Bridget.
Definitely go purchase that book.
I was wondering, because sometimes it can be hard for people, to reveal themselves and just kind of lay everything out there. And you pretty much got all of that in that book, for 5 hours. What change? Did anything change for you after learning the depths of Bridget after reading that?
I knew she was a deep person already, but in reading that book, I'm like, it gave me a different type of sense of love for her. Because, we as men, we always want to be the protectors. But I felt like after reading that book, I felt like I needed to protect her even more. I need to be more careful on how I do things, because it could spike either to feel anyway or relive something that, that happened to you. And so, I just wanted to be more careful and cautious with her, and be more protective of her in that way, like make sure whatever is going on, I got her.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I'm glad that you were able to use the knowledge of what you read and kind of put it into context in your relationship and say like, okay, these might be some triggers for her, or this might be a sensitive area or topic. So I want to yield to that.
Right.
And I know she made mention of, you being very intentional about everything and very deliberative, and she really appreciated that. And even, the stuff that she said, hey, we don't have to do all this. We can just get tattoos instead of rings. It's whatever. We're both, we're being married again. So like whatever.
Right.
But you were like, no, you deserve everything. You deserve this. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to give you legit everything.
Yeah.
Starting with this humongous ring.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I just don't think that someone who's been through all that should be cut short.
Mm,
Should not be
wow.
celebrated.
Right.
I wanted to make sure she got everything that she deserved in that moment, and so I couldn't go another day without making sure that that she knows that she's appreciated and loved in that way, and so I go back every now and then and watch the engagement video quite a bit, because it just reminds me of how blessed I am to have found someone like that. But it also makes me appreciate that I can continue to have someone like that, because some people get married and it don't last, and forgot how they got together, and they just fall out of love, and I remind myself, you asked for this from God, you got it. You got to take care of it. You got to take care of her. You got to preserve her. You got to make sure that you're all in, like you said you was, or it just defeats the purpose of doing it.
Wow.
That's some great advice to, those people who are listening. Right? It's maintenance, yeah. And love is an action you have to do. You got to do the work that comes with it.
And everything that you did to get her, you got to do to maintain, right?
You got to keep doing it, yeah.
Listen here.
Hence this podcast. Hey.
Yes.
Right, right.
She is going to be so stoked.
I'm waiting on this one.
Please record her and send it to us.
I definitely will do that.
I cannot even.
What are some of the things that you do to just, do you guys have check-ins? Like, what is the rituals of the Whitakers?
Yes.
I don't know if we really have rituals.
Okay.
I just think we just, B is a planner.
Absolutely.
So, she'll find stuff. She say, hey, what do you think about it? And if y'all know, if y'all go on my page, she'll hit me and say, I think we should do this. I'm like, okay, whatever, let's go. So we really just, I really just like the fact that there's no pressure. There's no pressure. We're able to live and not worry about if she gonna be mad if I go here or he gonna be mad if I go there. Mm-hmm. I would never want to stop that because I know B is socially active like that. I'm just not. I'm just not, but I know she is. And so I always want her to be her best self in that aspect, and so whenever, she say, well, let's go here, 90% of me probably would say, no, I ain't feeling that. Mm-hmm. But I go.
But you go.
I go because that's part of her. And eventually in the long haul, I will always wind up having a good time. So.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful part. That you eventually have a good time. Yeah. And that's what's up. That, and I think that's really cool that you both individually continue to be your individual selves. Like, I'm still going to be my introverted self and you're going to be your social butterfly self. But we gonna do what we need to do to make it work.
Yeah.
And to make sure that we're showing up for one another and we know each other's personality. So there's that.
Now, there are some things that I have changed, like, now since being with Bridget, I honestly say that I got about 42,000 Facebook friends. So, because
everybody friended you when she was like, I'm engaged to Joe. We was like, who's Joe?
Right, Joe.
And his friend.
Right.
I'm like, I don't know these people.
You know what I love about that though is that Bridget actually knows each one of those 4,200.
She probably
people,
does.
you know,
Yes.
each one of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, we gotta get you on Instagram, Joe.
Joe is on there because of Bridget.
Okay, look, now I'm about to find you on Instagram. Joe.
Yeah, you'll find me. I'm telling you, I never was out here like this.
Never.
I was in my house, TV always on ESPN.
You was
I just wasn't out here. I just wasn't out here. I mean, I literally was in the house.
Mm.
Yeah,
hey, so you was preparing for your wife. Look at you.
Yeah. That's a good way of putting it.
Preparing for your other half.
Yes. Yeah. Your queen bee.
And I like how you both are making each other better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you talk about how you're in school right now and you know how she inspires you. And we already know that you inspire her because she writes about it all the time. You know, she's posting about it. And just even like the little things. She's like, I think one day, I don't know if she got a flat tire or something happened. Something happened with her car, I feel like. And she was like, yep, and here's Joe to the rescue. Aww. Just out here, out of nowhere.
Well, y'all know that particular day, I was at work. And she called me and she said, I got a flat tire. And I said, where are you at? And so when she told me where she was at, I'm like, oh, no, hell no, I got to get over here. And she was in the hood, you know, doing her work for her job, you know. And so I'm all the way in Menominee Falls. I swear to y'all, I got to her in like 5 minutes. I wasn't even playing. So I'm like, you can't take the chance of being stranded over here, you know, and something happened, you know. And as soon as I got there, I swear to y'all, it was like 6 or 7 cats standing on the porch across the street looking.
Lord.
Looking like, we know she ain't from here.
Right. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I said, hey, get in my car. Let's go. I'll come back and change this on my own. You sure? Yeah. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. So.
It's those
Joe
things.
said, this is not a drill.
Right. Get in, hop in.
Let's go.
Get in my car.
Get in the car.
And
don't
I'm
ask no questions.
Listen,
how about that?
And I'll come back by myself and change it.
And I'm gonna have words with these. I'm just
I just couldn't leave it there like that, you know. Yeah. So come on, let's go.
Yeah, and people always can tell when you're out of place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They can always tell when you're out of place.
Especially when you're on vacation, like when y'all getting ready to go to Cancun.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah. I
You
feel
right.
like Joe, you see Joe trying to check us.
Joe was like,
first the check that you did to Bridget. Now you trying to check us.
Stop checking everybody for y'all.
Duly noted.
Y'all getting ready to go to Cancun, so they don't know y'all ain't from there.
Duly noted.
Now listen, I hear you, Joe. We gotta be careful out here.
I know, right?
Be careful everywhere.
Yeah,
that's true.
I love
that.
That
is absolutely true.
Be our brother.
Right.
Yep.
All right now. I'm like, all right. Yes, sir. I don't know.
Okay, big brother Joe.
Right. Like we online. We pledging? We doing?
Big brother Joe said.
Wow.
Hilarious.
Okay. So it's almost time for the tip, but before we get there, I just want to hear, like, what is it that you want Bridget to know?
Yeah.
What is it that you want to say to Bridget?
Look in the camera.
Because honestly, this podcast is sort of our legacy, right? Like it's out there, right?
Yeah.
So it'll never die. It's always going to be there.
Right.
And so it's also now part of your legacy and also Bridget's.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it that you want to say to Bridget? What is it that you want her to know?
Bridget needs to know that Joe will always be here and will always love her no matter what. You get to a place in life where you always want to be happy. And I've been at my happiest with her. Mm-hmm. And so because of that, she honestly needs to know, and I make it a point for her to know that I will always be here and always love her till I can't do it anymore.
Oh.
That was so sweet. That was so sweet. I love it. Love you.
Yeah.
I know, right?
You got to end it with I love you, girl.
I know I love you, girl. That's what you should have said, Joe. When I said, what you want, Bridget? Now, you know I love you, girl.
I love you, girl.
Yeah.
Larry, look, we trying to make his
I know.
love a hood story. Jesus.
No, but that was beautiful.
That was.
And you know what? I agree. I think that that's what everyone wants, right? Is just to know that I can show you my ugly self, my made up self, my beautiful self, and you'll still love me in all aspects because all of that is me. I saw a meme the other day, and it was a girl taking off everything. So like she was taking off her makeup, she was taking off her really cute clothes, and like she took, like her fake hair she took off. And then it was like, does he still love you? Is what it said. And so when I heard you make your profession of love to Bridget, I felt like it's a manifestation of that meme, and you're saying yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's good enough.
No matter.
I'll tell y'all this real quick. I had a moment at work about a week ago. I'm sitting in my office, and I was just sitting there thinking, like, I don't think God could have gave me a better person ever in life. And so I sat, and I'm sitting there, and I'm in there, and I started to tear up. And I was like, Joe, what are you doing? What are you doing? But it just made me think about where I was versus where I am now.
Love it.
And I was like, man, I couldn't imagine it being this way, but I'm glad it happened this way because I know that I legitimately have the best person I could possibly ever have.
I agree with that statement.
Yes, you absolutely do.
Big fan of Bridget.
And it's so awesome to hear that as a single woman to hear that that's real. Like there
genuine.
Is and genuine.
And I think why it means so much to us is because we see it play out every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we see, the stories that Bridget tells us, we see the things that she'll post about you, and it doesn't mean that y'all never have disagreements or that you never fight or anything.
Right.
So it really means a lot to us, honestly, that you reached out to us because I know that is outside of your comfort zone, that you're taking the chance to do this podcast, and honestly, that you trust us with your story.
Yeah.
So we thank you for that.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Also, just for your testimony, because like Chanel said, right, we as single Black women, right, we need to know that there are men out here that are big fans of Black women.
Yeah.
And that they
we definitely out here. We out here. We probably it's probably not enough of us out here, but we out here.
Y'all out
We
there.
out here. Yeah.
Shouts out to y'all.
Shout out to y'all. We love y'all for real.
Shouts out.
Cannot say that enough.
Yeah.
So we definitely appreciate that.
Yes, for sure. And so happy for you and Bridget. We'll say that too.
Yes,
like we love it because we know Bridget too. We've known her a long time.
And for the consistency, you know what I mean. Like you are absolutely everything that I expected you to be, but a little bit more.
Absolutely.
Like yes, Joe, please come on the podcast, and then you're like, yes, tell me what you don't like. You said, tell me what you don't like.
Yes.
And I'll take care of the rest. I thought you were gonna say, tell me what you do want.
Yeah.
And I'll get that because that's easy.
And that is easy.
That's easy, but you were like, no, tell me like if you have an allergy.
Yeah.
If if you got irritable bowel syndrome, tell me what your body can't do.
I can't be responsible for what happens to you. But
I will say that, like, to me, that like when you said tell me what you can't eat or what you don't like, that made me think like, oh, that's what Bridget is talking about.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's what Bridget means about the detail. Because you're like, I can figure out what I want you to have if I know
what you don't like.
Yeah, put me in bounds. Yeah. Like boundaries, and I'm gonna stay in the boundaries.
Right.
Ooh, thank you for loving
on
Bridget.
Which to me also, could manifest itself. So we're talking about food, but I'm sure that also manifests itself in real boundaries in life.
Yeah.
Right? Because like you said, I read the book and I said, oh, I'm gonna be careful with this.
Yeah.
Extra careful.
Extra careful with this.
Extra careful.
God that blessed me.
Listen,
I asked specifically for her. Here she is.
Now I have to take care of it.
I'm going to take care of this. I'm going to be consistent and, show her, give her the absolute best. Even though, like she said, there's some things where she's like, oh, we don't need to do all that. And you're like, yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
And I personally appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because that's a good thing to just witness, honestly,
for sure.
In a space where a lot of Black women are not being appreciated. So it's just it's good to see that and to see that.
Well, I appreciate the podcast because actually I listen to it from time to time, and you ladies are doing y'all thing on this podcast. I didn't Didn't even know what a podcast was.
Oh, thanks,
Didn't
Joe.
even
Thanks
know
for
what a podcast.
listening,
But
Joe.
y'all doing great work, and keep doing it. And do it well. It helps. It helps people. It
Thank,
really does.
because you know we
Thank
the
you.
Oprahs. I always gotta add that in. You know we the
We're the
Oprahs
Oprahs
of the Good News Network.
Hey, whatever works for y'all.
You can call yourselves whatever
Man,
you
all
want.
right. Y'all go pay. Y'all
Whatever
the
name you
Oprahs.
want to go by, that's all right.
Whatever works for y'all.
Whatever works for y'all.
I am
No, but we
cracking up.
appreciate it. So
Yes, thank you.
let's do our to-go box. So what
Mhm.
are we taking away? And I'll start with you, Chanel.
I'm taking you away. You should all find a Joe. No, I'm kidding. Find your Joe, ladies. Okay, not this one because you'll die.
Yeah, not this one, because Bridget ain't
But
playing.
but no. Finding someone who wants to love you for you and to be transparent and authentic. And I love what you said about you didn't date, like you wanted to work on you and heal. And I totally think we're both in those. I mean, I can speak for Sherry Renee because I know, but I think we're both in that season have been in that season too, to just stop and focus on ourselves.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm out that season.
Yeah, right. Sherry Renee, like that's
That's you.
I'm
Speak for
past
yourself.
that. I'm ready. Okay. But she's still working. So there's still some things, that I really want to work on by myself, which is why, I play with people, but I don't be serious. So I don't like date or online date or any of that. Cause I'm really like, figure your life, get yourself together, girl.
Yeah.
So I respect that you did that as a man to be like, no, I'm going to stop. So that's totally what I'm taking away.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Joe, what are you taking away?
I am taking away the fact that I came out my comfort zone again today.
Yes, you did.
Yay.
And I appreciate you ladies for doing this. I think for Black love and for Black women, we're in a pandemic right now, and we can't embrace people like we're accustomed to embracing people. But when we do come from this pandemic, because I believe it's really gonna happen, we as Black men, we need to hug on and love on our Black women like never before, because when you look at the Breonna Taylor situations and the Sandra Bland situations and things like that, yeah, I know what's messed up with George and the other Black men who lost their lives, but I don't think the Black women got enough publicity as the Black man did, because the Black women aren't treasured as much. That's just me. That's just what I see. And so when you got great Black women around and we don't celebrate them, that hurts. That hurts everybody. And so I honestly feel like we need to celebrate our Black women more. I really do.
Absolutely.
Love it.
My takeaway goes back to what you said earlier about how Black men need to protect and cherish Black women, because if you don't, then it'll be to your detriment, basically.
Yeah.
So that's one of my takeaways. And then the other one is to go back to what Chanel was saying. I did spend a lot of time doing my work. I'm out here. I'm ready. But it's not to settle, right? It's to know that there are Black men. Because, people always tell me, like, oh, you're going to have to get you a white man. Or you're going to have to get, go. Don't be afraid to go outside your race. And I'm like, I don't want to,
Yeah.
I don't want to. Shouts out to the people who do. That's great.
Right.
It's just not my preference. And so I think it's just not to settle, and just to know that there are Black men out here who are celebrating, loving, cherishing, and being consistent with Black women, who are being intentional, who are going outside of their comfort zones a little bit, just to take the time. You take the time to get to know Bridget, like just even reading her book. I'm sure that Bridget has dated people that never looked at any of her work, that never read her blog, that never, read her posts, that never read her first book. You know what I mean? So I like the fact that you take the time to thoroughly listen to her work, read her work, contextualize it, and help you get a better understanding of who she is. It's like you studied her, to a certain degree.
That's good.
And I really admire and value that. I see a lot of, that takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time, and it is to sit there and be a student of the one that you love, right? So that
I didn't have a choice. And I'll tell you why I say that. Because you'll miss a whole lot. Knowing Bridget, you'll miss something if you ain't listening.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's absolutely true. And you know what? It's funny that you say that. That is so true because I think that I've seen, a lot of stuff. And sometimes I'll be like, oh, there's this one post that I saw that Bridget did. I want to go back and look at it because I want to like screenshot it. I'll go back and then there were 5 more. And I'm like, when did that happen? So it's like you'll actually miss something.
Yeah.
Like in the physical sense, but then you will. So I'm sure that you'll miss something, about her
if you're not listening,
if you're not paying attention.
And
Bridget is very versatile.
Mm-hmm.
She has a lot of depths. I love, like, I am, how Bridget loves Beyonce? That's how I love Bridget.
That Beyonce thing is terrible.
Terrible. Like, huge because B love her.
She loves her. And that's me. I'm on the other end. I'm rooting for Bridget. Bridget is rooting for Beyonce.
Y'all really have no idea how much flack I done caught for some statements I made about Beyonce.
I can only imagine.
Don't make them on here. Right. We don't. So please don't make them on here.
No Beyonce slander on Brunch with Besties.
Don't do it. Because then look, Bridget gonna be like, the podcast was great until.
Right.
But Joe said what he said about my girl.
Listen.
But I love that you take the time to be a student of her and just to really get to know her. Because, all people are multifaceted, right? So you can't just, what you saw on just her Plenty of Fish profile, while it was very detailed, that does not fully encompass who she is, right? And read her book.
Wasn't even close.
Right, wasn't even close. And even reading her book, while it had a lot in there, that still does not fully encompass who she is. So I like that you take the time to look at her literally from every single angle.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You're a big fan of Bridget.
Big fan
of Black women. And therefore, hey, we're big fans of you and Bridget.
Hey, listen, forever fans of this. Love the Whitakers.
Yeah, and even your Zoom says the Whitaker.
I love it. Yes, I love it.
Like, okay, Joe, let us know, Joe. Let us know.
Let us know.
Y'all know who created that. Y'all already know. I had nothing to do with that part of it.
We love the Whitakers.
I love it. I love
y'all. We love you guys as well. That's for sure.
Aww, absolutely.
Awesome.
Oh, and thank you also for this amazing food.
Yes. Drop it one more time where this food came from. Want to shout
that came from Greens and Things.
Okay. Awesome.
Yes, and when I tell you that Chanel and I have been we had to keep muting the mics because Chanel and I were over here with yams. Oh, first of all, this goes total. Chanel and I are working on our Cancun bodies.
Oh yeah.
So we have some strict squatting rituals that we must do every day for an hour and a half.
Yes.
And some strict eating guidelines. This goes against it, but it was well worth it.
It was good.
These yams, these greens. I don't really like pork chops, but when I tell you that these smothered pork chops are gone.
Yeah.
I'm now a fan.
Yeah, I definitely
ate all mine. Good.
It was yummy.
Oh my God. Like I would not have ordered this, but it
was good.
Now I will.
Listen,
so Joe, you took me out of my comfort zone.
Hey.
I'm picky, Joe. I am very.
You picky too?
I'm picky, Joe. I'm talking picky.
When I tell you she's picky. Like,
I'm talking picky.
If you got her eating smothered pork chops, that pat on the back.
Pat on the back.
Kudos
to you, man.
All right. Well, I'm glad you ladies enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because your girl was starving, so this is great. I ain't ate since about 11 o'clock, so I was real hungry.
Oh, wow.
So thank you so much.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
And Bridget, we hope that you love it as much as we did. It was fun, and it is part of your legacy now. So thanks for tuning in to Brunch with Besties podcast. Until next time, peace.